Sandy?
Sandy Crittenden, the son? Sandy Crittenden, Heather Drive. Bill, thank you. I'm impressed. But can I distill it down? I'm going to say it and you say I either understand it or I don't. Let's round it off to real small numbers. A green waste can is $20. Is that for one can to empty it once, or is that for one can to empty it for a month?
That's the cost for a month.
Okay. So I went down to the 26-gallon, I think, because... Pardon?
There's 20 and 32.
20-gallon one. So I'm actually paying less rates than I did before. And what I was kind of reading was it wasn't matter that I wasn't going to throw away less trash. They just wanted me to put it in less containers. So my black trash only has plastic bags in it, just about, that's it. Everything else gets recycled. But I'm only paying, what you're telling me, I'm only paying for one can, one green can. The rest is being subsidized or being put on this tab. Now, roughly speaking, we're going to revenue, I'm going to rough it, $1.5 million. We're going to get a bill for $2.5 million. Roughly, we're $1 million short. This isn't like, let's worry about it in a couple of weeks. This sounds to me like a subprime loan to me. It's just a matter before this is going to explode. And every time you guys miss it, it's going to get worse. I don't know the solution to it, but putting it off for a couple of months, I don't think is your solution.
Well, if I could just quickly answer. So you got the question, you got the model right, and I can only tell you, Sandy, is that first off, the rates were originally put together by a subcommittee of ours. They gave direction to a rated analyst who put together the numbers with wrong can sizes, and we were working off of bad information, but they were intentionally biased based on input from the environmental committee to encourage recycling. And so your analysis is right that a 32-gallon can at $20 or whatever should add in your cost of the two green cans, which would be minimum is $40 plus whatever the cost of those other cans are. However, the information that was given to the council and the rated analysis that was done was incorrect, and we didn't have that right information. So hopefully we're going to rectify that moving forward.
My interest isn't to criticize what the council's done and all the work you've done. I think the clear picture is now this is not time to stop. You got to do something and do it soon.
Yeah. So your analysis was right. Thank you. Okay, this gentleman here.
My name is James Savoy, Lilac Drive. First, I thank you for all the work that you've done. I think it's very important. And I thank the gentleman for his suggestion that we have public elected input into the district, because right now they're a force unto themselves. They've done this, they've caused all this problem without input from people like yourselves, and that input should be there. First, I agree with the comment, 2.5, 2.6 million is a number they established, not you gentlemen and ladies. That's a number we have to meet, and I think you're exactly right. You've got to go back to the way we did it before. Eliminate the food waste. I don't think most people are doing it anyway. Everybody's going to go down to the 32-gallon can in order to control their costs. That's going to throw your numbers completely off. What I want to know is, how are they going to count the green cans? I put out 2 green cans for them to pick up. They never did. I've got 8. I never put out more than 2 or 3 at one time. I've had 1 the last 2 pickups. They didn't even take it. So the bottom line is, I think their numbers are totally skewed. I don't know how many green cans are out there. I do see 15 and 16 sometimes. I see 2 to 4. But I think we'd be fine going back to every other week, the way we did it before. And I think if you would like some civilian input into the work that you're doing, which is very valuable, I know there are a lot of people here who would be glad to put a lot of effort in and share the effort with you, if that would make any sense. Thanks.
Lady in the back.
Hi, my name is Heidi Welch, and I live on Camino Alongo, and I always get a little nervous speaking publicly, so I apologize. But on a number of points, I haven't watched them actually pick up the cans But I do see these trucks speeding throughout town constantly, and I've got kids on bikes, and, I find that to be a real problem with how they operate. But according to the cost numbers that were proposed, I came here because I saw the proposed rates being, I've got a 96-gallon can going from $82 to $163 a month, which means my yearly rate changes from $986 a year and goes to $1,950 a year, almost $1,000 more for the year. And if it's caused by the green cans, then I think we should be charging for the green cans and not charging based off the black cans, because I keep a large black can, which is typically only filled to a third or a half because we have events at the home, and then I've got a lot of trash, and so to have that flexibility and kind of ease, and for rodent control, I like to have the larger can, but now that it's going to go up to by $1,000 a year, I'm going to switch down to probably several 20-gallon cans, which are going to throw your numbers off. And I was mentioning this to another Atherton resident, and he said, well, gosh, we just have a private guy come, and it's $100 a month. And he comes twice a week and takes our trash away. So I'm going to opt out of the system if the numbers go up to the earlier March rates. I was happier with your $114 number, and can even live with $125 temporarily, but I'm going to radically change what I'm doing based on such a large increase. Thank you.
John?
Many people could hear me here. I have a question for Mr. Whitmer.
Will you go to the microphone?
My question is that I understood your table, which listed the various communities and the costs per community, and how Atherton rates cannot be comparable to Redwood cities because of the green cans. But it seems to me that you can normalize that based on the square mileage of the community. So basically, my question is, if I have a 32-gallon can and 2 green cans, am I paying the same amount to someone in Redwood City or Menlo Park in the same situation? Or is Atherton being charged more for the same type of collection that other communities are?
Your costs are going to be different than the other communities because of the profile of the community and the different mix, and some of your neighbors having more green cans, etc.
But I mean, just one green can to one green can. Is it the same cost as Menlo Park, or
No.
and shouldn't it be? I would say it should be less because it's more efficient to pick up 10 green cans from one home than one green can from 10 homes. Why? Yeah. Why? Why? Okay.
We have another.
Mayor Dobby, members of the council, and Atherton residents, Gino Gasparini with Recology, and I'm the operations manager there in charge of collections. And the answer to that question is, given, let's just associate one can, regardless of the size it is, in a town of Atherton as compared to Foster City, for example. In Foster City, within an 8-hour day, given one truck, which costs the same for 8 hours in Atherton or in Foster City, as compared to one driver, which the hourly rate, union rate is the same, and gas costs for an 8-hour day, time cost, as I mentioned. In Foster City, we can pick up 1,000 homes because of the streets, the closeness of the homes, 1,000 homes. In Atherton, it's less than 500 because of the distance, the cul-de-sacs, the difficulty of the service area. So, 1,000 homes at a rate as compared to 500 homes paying for the same cost for that service. So if you want to do the math, simply put, it's twice as much cost per resident in Atherton to pick up one home.
But don't the 500 homes in Atherton have a lot more green cans than the 1,000 homes in Foster?
I'm just talking about picking up one can. And the cost of picking up a can, there's time and motion in one can, and 10 times as much in 10 cans. They don't get picked up 10 times all at once. One can, to pick up one can, to pick up 10 cans, It's 10 times longer to pick up 10 cans than it is to pick up 1 can.
Virginia Ruggiero on Stockbridge Avenue. I would like to tell you about people that leave their cans out all week. And what can you do? Can you draft an ordinance to stop this? Because we have a lot of renters in our area and they don't understand, I guess, that you can't leave your cans out. It just looks terrible. I mean, especially the blue one, you can see that for 5 miles. So when they have the hotline and the manager gets that up and running, maybe we could have something on there about the can. Thank you.
Virginia, I think that one of the things we considered here is, in fact, at one point we were going to have an ordinance such as that one on the agenda, but with all the other things that we're having, I think that will be considered. But I would also like to say that, you know, that there are other problems associated with it, including picking up cans at different times of the week. In Lindenwood, for instance, they all used to be picked up on Wednesday. Now that some of them are picked up on Wednesday, some of them on Friday, with the result, I don't think people have any idea when to be picked up, so they just leave the cans out there. So I think the first thing we were going to do was to draft a letter to all of the residents, pointing out that they should pick up their cans. And then, if that doesn't work, we're looking at an ordinance where people would be fined for leaving their cans out. But that needs public hearing, we haven't got to that.
Thank you.
Colleen Anderson. Just on the garbage town ordinance, there is one on rocks and things. And I've noticed that there's already an ordinance and no one's followed it. And Atherton PD actually said if somebody puts rocks on their property and the car parks out further, they will ticket the car and not the homeowner for the rocks. And we had a rock dragged on Parker where I called them. So it's kind of like if you're going to make an ordinance, maybe you should enforce the ones you have before making more. As far as the trash cans go, the littler lots fill up one of the green cans in about a month. So that part's fairly difficult. The 20-gallon can, actually, the way it's shaped, you can fit about 7 gallons worth of trash in it. So I kind of feel, and then from a real estate aspect, the gentleman, I don't know where you went, excuse me. When you're talking Atherton and talking how hard it is to pick up trash cans, so on and so forth, if you look at Redwood City has Emerald Hills. If you've ever been in the deep hills of Emerald Hills, those are incredibly hard to pick up. If you've ever watched how the machine works to pick it up, if you look at the lower levels of Redwood City, there's cars all along the street. So in order to get the trash cans out to the side, that's a whole lot different to maneuver than Atherton. So from certain aspects, I'm not understanding when you're looking at, and I should be discussing with both of you, when you're looking at Emerald Hills, when you're looking at cars parked on the street all over Redwood City, in every single thing, the machine goes out. They don't get out of their car any longer. So we're not much different. We actually give them a little bit more breathing room. It's kind of like cleaning out your closet where you're piled this high versus having a larger space to deal with the situation, to reorganize it. So I don't get why they're using that as an excuse, because you can go up in San Carlos Hills if you've ever been up there, and the way the trash cans are situated and things like that, it's a whole different ballpark. So we actually allow them more maneuverability, and I get what they're saying, but I also get it in every single town that they're talking about, if that makes sense. Have you guys been where I'm talking about? Okay, so we're the same, if not easier. And as far as ordinances, please respect the rock ordinance and the tree ordinance and all that, and a safety zone like I've always talked about. That's it. Thank you.
Any other public comments? If there are no other public comments, I will now bring it back to the council for any further discussion. Council members?
Through the chair here, I do have a couple of comments. So in your chart, you've indicated, Bill, and